I'm holding court, you standing trial. Why ain't I see you round back when I was down? I'm holding court.
I think agriculture is everything, and I think that's something that we as a community have to get back into. And that's north, south, west, everybody got to get back into that, because if you didn't learn one thing during the pandemic is that
why ain't I see you round back when I was down?
What's up, world? It's your boy, Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast. You already know what it is, and we here one more again, broadcasting live from Atlanta, Georgia. And we down here in the ATL. Got my oldest daughter next to me, Rachel Renee.
What's good, world? What's up?
What's going on? So we still down in this junk trapping.
Yeah, man.
Trapping. But meanwhile, we got a special guest, legendary guest in the building. We not playing, you know what I mean? Legendary member of the legendary group, Goody Mob,
hey,
Dungeon Family, you know what I mean? Big Gipp, what's good with you, OG?
How you doing?
I'm good, man. That's good. Man. We finally made it happen, bro. We've been hollering for a minute.
I'm a fan. Been a fan.
I appreciate that.
Everything you've been doing.
Thank you, brother.
I studied your history, and I was like, came up a lot like me.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Like,
yeah.
I see that you came up in that world that we came up in.
That's right.
And you were smart enough to, hey man, it ain't gonna catch me.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna do it.
That's
what
right.
I mean? And
that's right.
It's great to see that you were a great representative for the West Side, man.
Man, thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
You can be in the midst of anything, man, and still make your own personal decisions to keep on the right track.
Man, I appreciate that. Hey, salute. I appreciate that. I received that, brother. Thank you. Hey, this is one of my motivating factors right here.
Hey,
you know
man.
what I mean?
When you got, that's what people don't understand. When you got girls, man, it changes you. Mm-hmm. It's different when you have a girl than when you have boys. You know, boys pretty much are you. But when you have a girl, you have to slow down, speak clearly, and it's more about y'all relationship, not more about a physical thing with a girl.
No,
man.
That's right.
It's really taught me a lot.
That's right.
Being grown now.
That's right. So I want to ask you, man, growing up in Atlanta, I just want to touch on that a little bit. What was that like? What were your musical influences as well?
Growing up in Atlanta, man, I could say growing up in Atlanta for a black kid during the 70s and the 80s and 90s, it was like Walt Disney World. And I say this because all I've ever gone to school with was black people. Mm-hmm. All I've ever seen being my influencers, the people I looked up to, were people that looked like me. Being able to see Andrew Young, being able to see Hosea Williams, being able to see, Dominique Wilkins, being able to see these guys all the time in your neighborhood, and they never walked amongst us and acted like they were higher than us. They always walked with the people. And I think that's something that the Dungeon family always took heed to, like, never walk above the people, walk with the people.
Right.
And I think that's also, it made us the people's champ, and it also made us enemies in the industry. Because we never let that part of us go. And growing up in Atlanta, it was, I can't say that most of us grew up like high middle class white people. And I say that because all of us had everything that I think you saw on TV that other people had. All of us had cars at 16.
Wow.
We had motorcycles and stuff like that at 14, 13 years old. Most of us, if we wanted to go to college, our parents went to college. My mother was a graduate from Clark Atlanta University.
Wow.
My father was a soldier. So being able to come up in a household where you had a mother who was very, very articulate, very much about school, and then a father who was very disciplined.
Yeah.
And very about rules, and you gonna listen to me and do what I say. It was you were scared of your parents then.
Yeah, that's a fact.
The respect for your parents was just totally different in those times. Grandmama was always the nucleus. Big mama was always the nucleus. My mother was from Rockmont, Georgia. So she was a country girl. My father's from Troy, Alabama. So he also was a country kid. But what's so special about him is that he went and joined the Army at 16 years old. Mm-hmm. So he was very much wanting to grow up faster, and my mother was very much wanting to leave the country and come to the city and become educated. And I just think as a kid, you know, I went to private school up until about 3rd or 4th grade, and then I started saying, "Mom, I want to go to public school with everybody else." You know, so it was like I started learning the differences between how we lived and others lived.
Mm-hmm. What's up, world? It's your boy Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast, and I am the co-founder of the OG Network. And if you're enjoying this episode and you want to watch the full episode, then what I need you to do is go download the OG Network. Available on Roku, Google Play, Fire TV, and Apple Mobile. And again, if you liking this and you want to watch the full episode, because we only giving you a little bit over here, go watch the full episode on OG Network. Go download the app now. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Salute.
And the special thing about Atlanta is that, you know, the way Maynard Jackson set the city up, he made sure that even if you was a lower income family, you still stayed next to people where you could learn and understand how you became better and influenced others to become better in your community. And I think that's where, you know, Rico Wade stayed right up the street from me. Wow. So it was like how East Point is, it's a street called Headland. So on one side it's us, and then up the street, that was the low. So that was Headland and the low. So that's where Rico come from. Mm-hmm. That's where T-Boss from TLC come from. Yeah. All of us grew up together, same middle school, same high schools. Wow. I graduated with Chili from TLC.
Shout out to Chili.
We was in the same history classes, and you know, Cujo and Timo, we went to school together, and Cool Breeze and all of them, we grew up together, same neighborhood. So all of us really kind of like grew up in the same circumference. Mm-hmm.
But, talk about Rico Wade and what he meant to Atlanta.
Rico meant everything to Atlanta because when you see Rico, you see a different version of Atlanta. It's like when we look at Atlanta, first you got to start with Dallas Austin. Mm-hmm. He was the first, 16, 17 years old, jumped on the highway, went to LA and started working on Climax as a kid from Columbus, Georgia.
I didn't know that. He worked with Climax?
He was going to produce that whole first album.
Oh, wow. I Miss You and
all that. That's
in the
Dallas.
Waiting room, all
16,
that.
17 years old.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So Dallas, and then here comes Jermaine Dupri. Mm-hmm. And then the next I have to speak about is Divine Stevens. Mm-hmm. Divine Stevens was the first artist signed to LaFace Records when LA and Babyface came to Atlanta. Mm-hmm. And he was kind of like the streets, the first version of it, but very much a dancer. So when you see Puff, when you see Mary J. Blige, that's Divine. Mm-hmm. Those dance moves, that was Atlanta. Yeah. You know what I mean? Wow. So like from there you get to Rico. Rico was like Malcolm X, a street kid, and we all went to middle school together. The first time I noticed Rico, I was in the 6th grade. Rico was already driving his own car. He already had his own car in 6th grade. Damn. And he kind of like left school early because he was taking care of his sisters. So he would come up there and pick his sisters up and go back and work at Lamont Trades. Wow. So he was having jobs and money and all that kind of stuff way before we even understood what that was. Getting his own clothes made. And he was just an extraordinary character as far as Atlanta culture, as far as East Point culture. And very dynamic. As a kid that had money early, he knew how to talk to grown people. Differently than we did at that time. He could, like my dad say, you know, he could sell you a rock. If you listen long enough, he gonna sell it to you. And I think that was his quality, and that was his. It was a leadership in him that if he believed in you, he made you feel like you were better than what you were. Mm-hmm. So his quality for us, man, that's the Dungeon Master, Rico Wave.
Man, how does it feel that a lot of your peers, y'all kids, and so many of your peers, y'all will become superstars? Like, that's crazy when you think about it, the odds of that. Yeah, the ratio of how many stars of all of y'all, how many records sold, and the influence all of y'all had. Did y'all, I'm sure y'all didn't see that from that space of being middle school students.
Well, we didn't see that, but we, as kids, the superstars in Atlanta were the politicians, were the freedom fighters, those Martin Luther King, like nothing could beat that, So to us, those were stars. But as a kid, I would say this: music was very, very big in Atlanta, and I think people don't know how big music actually was. The big stars of the 70s and 60s, they lived in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. I didn't know that Curtis Mayfield stayed in Atlanta. Right. I didn't know that Cameo and all of them stayed in Atlanta.
Isaac Hayes.
Larry Blackman, Isaac Hayes. Yeah. I didn't know this as a kid, but Atlanta was the mecca for black stars to party.
What's up, world? It's your boy, Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast, and I am the founder of the OG Network. Now listen, we're all out here chasing our purpose. Hopefully you're not just chasing the paper, but when you're moving at the speed that I move and you travel as much as I do, who's got time to be stuck in the kitchen, right? That's why I rock with Factor. No planning, no cooking, just straight excellence. Now, Factor makes healthy eating easy with chef-crafted, dietitian-designed meals delivered straight to your door. Now, my go-to has been their truffle corn and chicken lasagna. It's got that rich truffle flavor and it's packed with lean protein and whole foods with no refined sugars or artificial sweeteners. Now, I know that's probably making y'all hungry right now. Now, Factor keeps it fresh with 100 different meals rotating every week. I like the new Muscle Pro collection, supporting strength and recovery. I'm always trying to get my buff on. Now, head to factormeals.com/BigCourt50 off. Use code BigCourt50 off and get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Eat like a pro this month with Factor. New subscribers only, varies by plan. One free breakfast item per box for 1 year while subscription is active. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Salute.
And when my first experience with this, of wanting to be in the music business, I guess once rap started, I remember when the Fresh Fest first came through here, man, the first time I got to see Ice-T, the first time I got to see LL Cool J. And I remember they used to come to our mall to shop, and Greenbrier. So, like Bell Biv DeVoe, everybody would be at this mall shop, and Ice-T and everybody. I remember I was like, man, I'm gonna go buy my first rap album. And I remember I went to the record store in Greenbrier, and the girl that sold me the record, Ice-T record, was the girl that was the lead singer for SOS Band.
Wow. Okay.
So when SOS Band hit in Atlanta, it was like, wow, like she was just in the record store.
Yeah.
And we all started looking like, we can do it too.
Yeah.
And it was a club in our neighborhood called Mr. V's Figure 8. What people don't know is her manager was Maynard Jackson's wife. Mm-hmm. So, of course, Maynard Jackson was in politics and his wife was in music. So when we started seeing this, like this explosion of Atlanta music, we just instantly thought like, we can do this. And another part of Atlanta that makes Atlanta special is that wrestling was real big in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. Like WWF.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Like it was like Ric Flair and the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
My grandmother used to come here and she was a wrestler fan, like Tommy Wildfire Rich.
Real quick, who was your favorite wrestler back then in the 80s?
Oh, man, there was so many. Like, you got to say, my two favorite at that time had to be probably Ric Flair and Jerry Lawler, the King from Memphis.
Okay.
Memphis and Atlanta wrestlers were like our heroes. and the greatest thing about it was Abdullah the Butcher used to have a wing stop in our neighborhood. So we got to see Abdullah the Butcher all the time. And I think it was just the star quality of knowing that we could be bigger than just the average American.
Y'all had a reference point. You're able to see, it's what you see. If you grow up and all you see is pimps and, different things like that, then you model that. If you see dentists, doctors, you're probably going to think you can do that.
You could do
so
it.
So y'all had stars all around.
We had stars everywhere. And from politicians like the Street Cascade, that's where all of the freedom fighters stayed, from Andrew Young to all the mayors. So, their kids, Maynard Jackson, Buzzy, his son. Then you would get to see Andrew Young, Bo, his son. And all of us kind of grew up together. You know what I mean? All of us grew up together. It was a trip because even like being in high school, we used to cut school a lot. So we would cut school a lot and go over to each other's houses and have house parties. And I remember that was the first time I met Lil Jon. And it was like Lil Jon mom and dad was like a doctor and a lawyer, like the Cosbys. So it's like we got to see each other as kids and understand that we was I would say just raised right. You know what I mean? Like understanding that it's rules, regulations, parents, and it's children.
Hey, listen, I'm
hierarchy.
I'm gonna tell you something, order. Man. It's order. Yeah. She didn't like that order. She didn't like that. Yeah,
I'm the eldest. It's different.
We from the Midwest, so we have the same sensibility, you know.
And Nigerian influence.
And the Nigerian influence. Man, that's fascinating. You know what I love, and it's so crazy because it wasn't necessarily my experience. We've had so many guests from Atlanta, and y'all all tell the same story. Y'all had a mother, a father, professionals in your family, educated, and it's just crazy how the world wants us to believe, or wants the world to believe that that's not the norm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because now I say it wasn't my experience. I mean, I grew up with my mom. I was raised by strong women. So I had my grandmother, my auntie, my mom, you know what I'm saying? But I say out of all it's almost the percentage is almost like 99% of y'all had strong family foundations, which is dope. That's dope to hear. Because I'll be honest with you, coming from Kansas City, most of my friends, we didn't have that. We didn't have our dad. Most of us didn't. And a lot of us was raised by grandparents too.
Right. It was a funny thing. The other part that made this experience kind of special was during the summers, you had to go to the country. And that was the way that the city folks let you know that, hey, bro, it's another life out here. And I show it to you. And that's being with Big Mama on the dirt road. And you can't go nowhere. And you got to go to sleep by 2 o'clock because the store is coming on. And, you got to, we go hunting at night with your uncles. And we would get up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That was all the kids did. We would chase the dogs through the woods, the old men sit back walking with guns and stuff. And we would chase the dogs till we found the rabbit or the coon. So it taught us they started teaching you how to survive on the land early as a kid.
Right.
I used to have to go and pick blueberries and blackberries with Big Mama. We used to have to chuck corn and all that kind of stuff. So it was just, they was trying to teach you every type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
And trying to make you understand that nothing is given. You either earn it or you won't have it.
Right.
And I think that's what we brought into the music game. Like our determination to be us and nothing else but us.
You know what? I have a random question. Just remember something. So I remember in the 80s, I'm in Kansas City, and I remember seeing on the news, and I remember even me being terrified in Kansas City. Talk about the Atlanta child murders and how was y'all scared with that? Like,
that was incredible, man, because it just seemed like a time where Black people were starting to advance even more in this city, and it scared a lot of people here. It scared a lot of people that wasn't, used to seeing Black people become powerful And I think that time came because it was a black man here. He the one that really started he started his own airline. And I think when he started his own airline, it made a lot of the people in this city very, very scared of the black business. Mm-hmm. And that's when the kid thing started. Mm-hmm. You know,
so you think that it's a political connection with that?
It was always a political connection, really? Because it was almost like the only way that people felt like the establishment that used to run things, mm-hmm. the only way they could get back at us. Because it was almost like, yeah, you might feel like if you ever met Wayne Williams and mm-hmm. people that knew him in the neighborhood, mm-hmm. he was always kind of a little strange, little mm-hmm. nerdy kind of guy. Yeah, he probably could have did one or two, mm-hmm. but the rest of that was done by the police. Wow. The rest of that was done by Klan. Mm-hmm. And we always knew that. You know, my mm-hmm. father knew one of the kids. My father used to work for UPS, and he used to deliver in that neighborhood, and he knew one of the kids. And that was just a frightening time for parents during that time. I remember everybody had to go in by them street lights. Them street lights come on, everybody had to go inside. That's a fact. And it was a very, very scary period. Mm-hmm. But the difference, I think, between Atlanta and a lot of other cities, the elders were very much about protection. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what made people like Hosea Williams a king in this city, because he was like, oh, we'll take on all that action. Just mm-hmm. point it out. Yeah. Just point it out. Yeah. And I think people didn't get to see that side of Atlanta until mm-hmm. that Forsyth incident.
What's up, world? It's your boy, Big Court of the Holdin Court Podcast, and I am the co-founder of the OG Network. And if you're enjoying this episode and you want to watch the full episode, then what I need you to do is go download the OG Network. Available on Roku, Google Play, Fire TV, and Apple Mobile. And again, if you liking this and you want to watch the full episode, because we only giving you a little bit over here, go watch the full episode on OG Network. Go download the app now. Don't meet me there, beat me there. Salute.